guys, Curry here. So you know how they say that names have power? Like in Harry Potter, everyone was afraid to say Lord Voldemort's name. And if you say Beetlejuice 3 times, he'll show up. Or Bloody Mary, so many times she'll show up in the mirror. And even in the Bible, it says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. I have a little story revolving around names and why you should always be very careful of what you name anything. Okay, so this happened a while back, I don't remember. So my sister was babysitting the daughter of my dad's friend's girlfriend, and their cat had kittens. So naturally, they gave her two. They were so cute. They were so cute. They were two little kittens, of course. They were orange or yellow or ginger, if you will. And they were twins. They were both boys. So, of course, naturally, being the geeks that we are, they were named Fred and George Weasley. They acted like them, too. They would get into trouble and jump on things, and oh, they were a mess. But they were so cute and so loving. So, anyway, we could actually identify the two apart. George had a little tiny freckle on his ear, but you couldn't really tell unless you looked right at him. And Fred had slightly more white on his tail. Again, you couldn't really tell the difference unless you looked right at them, like really up close. But anyway, they had their own separate personalities. So anyway, one day we came home from church and we heard meowing, like frantic meowing. They were meowing for help. And okay, so we had to lock them up in my sister's room because of baby. We weren't sure how she would deal with other cats that were smaller than her, because she don't like other people or animals. We were afraid she'd eat them or something. So we locked them up when we were away. And so we came home one day from church to frantic mewing. We opened my sister's door, and George I don't know. Okay, he was crawling on one of those, I don't know why she had it in her room, but you know those plastic lawn chairs? I don't know how to describe it, but they have the little slits in the middle. But anyway, he was apparently climbing on that, somehow fell, and got his leg stuck in one of them, one of those little slits. And he must have been there a while because he was wiggling around, I guess. But we got him out, and he was dragging his leg. Like, he would not walk on it. He was literally dragging it. And we picked him up, and every time we would touch it, he would scream. So the next day, me and my mom took him to the vet, because apparently my sister doesn't care. She went and spent the night with a friend while her fur child, was wounded. Who does that? Anyway, I, being the caring, loving person I am, went with my mom, took him to the vet. And the vet looked him over and everything, and his leg was in fact broken. So she was telling us, you know, what to do, and I was like, aren't you gonna put a cast on it or something? And she said that she would like to put she'd like to put a splint on it, but it's been her experience with cats that they slip out of them. And I was just like, what? I've seen pictures of cats with tiny casts on or little splints. If you do it right, it shouldn't come out of it. But no, she wouldn't do that. So she just told us to confine him to a small area that he can't jump around or climb on anything, so for like a couple of weeks so he could heal. I'm like, he'll still probably walk on it and hurt it, but we went to Walmart because we didn't have anything to put him in. And our house is dangerous. So we got a cat carrier and put him in it. It was fine, you know, he's like, oh, cool, box. Cats like boxes. I closed the door. He didn't like that at all. He started screaming, clawing at the door. What are you doing? I'm taking a bath on screen. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, he was clawing at it and he was like biting at it, the little bars, and trying to smush his little face through it. And he was going to hurt himself, so I was like, nah, this ain't happening. We couldn't lock him in that for a couple of weeks. So he just wandered around the house. I mean, he healed up fine. I mean, he sits on his, when he sits down, he's got his leg kind of like spread out, you know, like when your leg's stiff and you sit down, you're like, oh, my leg. He sits like that sometimes. But other than that, he's okay. He's an outside cat now. Part 2. This is in 2 parts. Part 2 of the story. As the 2 cats grew up, Fred and George, we didn't have the money to get them neutered, and Baby has yet to be spayed. So my mom didn't want kittens running around, so we put the 2 male cats outside. George was mad. He'd look at us like, why, girl, why you do this? I thought you loved me. Fred's just like, whatever. I mean, they're fine. They were fine. They just did what they wanted. Now, George would hang around the porch and everything, looking in the door just like, why did you betray me? Fred's like, hey, more place to wander. And he would often wander off, do his thing. He'd be gone for a couple of days, you know, how male cats do. But he'd always come back. I think he got sick a couple of times. I can't remember if that was him or a different cat. But yeah, I think he got sick and we couldn't find him for a while. We were freaking out. But he came back. Then one day, he started being kind of slow again. We're like, oh no, he's sick again. Oh no. But he was fine. Or at least we thought he was getting better. And then he wandered off, you know, how he does. To this day, this was like a couple of years ago. To this day, he has yet to come back. We've assumed that he's died. Like, that's what cats do when they die. They wander off. And I miss him so much. He was the one that would cuddle. But the moral of the story is, do not name your cats Fred and George Weasley. Especially if they are twins and they are ginger. Because George, if you remember in the book, got injured. His ear got messed up. And Fred died. George got injured. He broke his leg. Fred died. Do not name your cats Fred and George if they are twins. Don't. I miss George. I mean, George is still around. He's a hungry cat. He just sits there looking in the door like, feed me. But, I mean, he's fine. He gets along with the dog fine. Can't let him in the house. Baby smacks his butt. Literally, she went. It's funny. But we worry about him when he's in the house because the baby's mean to him. Like, he's literally scared of him. Anyway. Yeah, he's still around. He's a good cat. Doesn't like you to touch his face. So I don't blame him. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my tale of woe or whatever. My tale of caution. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it and you would like to see more like this, then leave a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos as they come. I've started posting on Mondays and Fridays. And every now and then I'll post on Wednesday. But that one's iffy. But I'll post for sure every Monday and Friday. So subscribe for that. You never know what I'm going to post. And I think that's it. You can follow me on Tumblr, on Facebook under TheVampyNeko, Kari-TheVampyNeko. And Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, as just the I was literally almost done with the outro and it cut out. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Love you. Bye-bye.